over Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Wonder if you have anything on that. It's only just come out.
I saw very initial reports as I was coming out here. Of course, we have made very clear that we stand with our Saudi partners who have, for quite some time, endured terrorist attacks by the Houthis in Yemen. I don't have a specific reaction to the report you mentioned just because I don't have the full information in front of me, but certainly we have seen a pattern at play where the Houthis have demonstrated through their actions on the ground, including their offensive against Marib, through their continuing attacks against Saudi Arabia, including attacks that have the potential to inflict grievous harm on civilians in Saudi Arabia. That at the current moment, they are the obstacle to diplomacy. They are the obstacle to finding a resolution to this conflict. And if it turns out that what we've seen, the reports we've seen over the past hour or so, are another Houthi attack against our Saudi partners, of course, we will condemn that in the strongest terms, just as we reiterate our support for the security and the safety of Saudi Arabia. When it comes to Yemen broadly, as you know, our special envoy is working closely with his UN counterpart, Hans Grunberg, to do all we can to secure a ceasefire, to address urgent humanitarian and economic priorities, to restart the political process. And he's doing so, they are doing so, leveraging the unprecedented international consensus we have helped to build on Yemen. The United States has helped to bring together the region and countries beyond, but it is also the case that the Houthis and their reprehensible activity, their reprehensible behavior, have helped unite the world against them, to demonstrate to the world that, at least at the present, they are not interested in diplomacy. They do not appear interested in peace. It is our goal to change that, working with our Saudi partners, working with the Republic of Yemen government, working with other partners in the region, including Hans Grunberg and the UN, to jumpstart this diplomatic process, to see to it if we can put in place a ceasefire, to see to it if we can increase humanitarian access to the people of Yemen. Because after all, it's the people of Yemen who are suffering the most, and who are suffering the most primarily from what we have seen from the Houthis, from their ongoing offensives, from their unwillingness to allow sufficient flows of humanitarian aid into parts of the country that continue today to represent and to entail the world's worst ongoing humanitarian catastrophe by many analyses and by most estimates. So this is something we continue to treat as a priority, and we'll update you as we have.
And yet, after that whole spiel there, you still think it was a good idea to take them off the FTO list?
Matt, we do not make any apologies for.
I'm not asking you to make an apology. You still think it was the right idea? I mean, you say you want to put pressure on them to change, and yet that would seem to be one lever of pressure that was there.
The blanket designation was not centered solely on the Houthis. It implicated, the people of Yemen that I was just referring to. We don't make any apologies for seeking to improve the lives and the welfare of the people of Yemen who are resident in a country that represents the world's worst humanitarian catastrophe in terms of hunger, in terms of deprivation, in terms of access to food, to water, to other basic supplies and essential services. What we have done, rather than enact a policy that in some ways was punitive against an entire people, we instead have enacted targeted sanctions against individual Houthi leaders, holding those who are responsible for some of these actions, including the actions against our Saudi partners, responsible for their reprehensible conduct.
Do you have anything to say about the